What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp. It is September 26th, 2021. We are here to review WWE Extreme Rules. If you're watching live on youtube.com/Fightful, please leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Tap the bell for notifications. Get your super chats in. It will get your question or statement read on the air, and we have somebody taking them down to read them as they go on. But we're here to review Extreme Rules. We had the UFC watch along last night. We've had just a stacked week. And we've got Denise Salcedo joining us. Denise.
Bienvenido, Sean. ¿Cómo estás? Te quería decir que haz de cuenta que eres una jirafa, que te miras bien alto hoy.
Thank you. I am feeling super tall per usual. I really do appreciate that. How did you like tonight's Extreme Rules as a whole?
Pues de veras que a mí me gustó el programa, estaba muy bueno, las luchas estaban bien increíbles y lo que hizo el show más mejor fue que me comí una pizza con ranch, con tocino, pepperoni, queso y me gustó bien mucho.
I mean, I agree with you on the show. I do not agree with you about ranch on pizza. That's still gross to me.
Mira, Sean, mira. A mí no me gusta que todos me están diciendo que lo que yo como les da asco, porque fíjense, si ustedes comieran esa pizza con esa ranch, le gustaran bien mucho. Y también lo que no me gusta, Sean, es que cada lunes...
We're just going to mute Denise here. We're just going to mute Denise here. She's getting a little too hostile for us. Can't say some of that stuff on the air. Maybe she's done.
Sean, hasta la coronilla que siempre me está...
Let's just mute her again. I think Denise, come on now. Come on.
Yo ya me acabé contigo. Yo ya no tengo paciencias.
The
para
language.
ti.
Okay, Denise. Hey. Denise,
No, Sean. No, ya me caíste mal. No, ve, chinga tu madre. Ya.
Let's mute her one more time. Okay, hold on. Denise, I just gotta. Denise doesn't even, I wonder if she even hears me. Denise.
Tú siempre me estás apagando a mí y no me das, Sean, no me das a mí. Tú no me das a mí en respeto, me tratas mal en este programa, pero a todos los demás los quieres bien mucho, pero a mí, haz de cuenta que yo soy basura y me pisas. Pues,
top rope would break and she would just fall.
¿Sabes qué, Sean? Ya, ahora sí que te voy a agarrar con el zapato.
She got the shoe out.
¿Sabes que...
All right, we're gonna mute her one more time. This has got to fix it. Denise, are we good?
Sí.
WWE Extreme Rules. This did not extremely rule, Denise. To me, this was a completely missable show.
You know what? So I actually, top to bottom, I will say that there was a lot of good wrestling on this show, but the way that the show ended really kind of put a damper on things for me, because I kind of just felt that they built up to this really incredible moment, and then it just like fell flat. And then that's just a show. There was all the Peacock issues on top of that. And Sean, I saw your tweet, right? About the $9.99 tier. I was the broke ass present on the $4.99 tier, okay? Yes, and they didn't do this to me last time. Last time it was an enjoyable watch on the Peacock. I mean, except for the first time, the Peacock messed us up, the first time, but the other times were fine. But today they gave us like a ton of issues. It was bad. And I don't know if you heard this. I don't follow, the Premier League or anything like that, but I heard that apparently they had issues on the Peacock too, where like one of the games, like the whole second half was just a black screen. So they needed to get it together.
That was the finger being pointed. It was at Peacock, based on the people that I talked to. I was like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, Peacock, bro. We've already got super chats. I love me some Sova says that your rant was better than the Extreme Rules ending. You're going to have to read this one because I don't know what it means.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
What's that mean?
Where's the library?
Oh, and Sergio Martinez says you've been watching too much Telemundo, or I don't know, speaking Spanish her whole life. Maybe that too.
Well, too bad we don't have anybody that speaks French. If we would have had somebody that speaks French, this would have been great.
Some stupid punk says, I recognize some of those words, never took French, and said, why is she speaking French?
Dear Lord Jesus Christ.
Did you ever watch All That when you were little?
No, I never watched
Oh,
it.
God. Kenan Thompson played this French guy in a tub, and he would just go, ha, 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 the whole time, like a French guy. It was great.
Oui. That's all I know is oui and parlez-vous anglais. I don't even think I said that right.
Our friend Destiny FOMO, go follow her at twitter.com/Destiny FOMO, says, I wonder why Denise continues to invite Sean back on her show. I feel like you
pain.
didn't in that intro, but
I like pain and I like to suffer.
Omar saying, don't bully SRS. You did.
I hope we don't get demonetized. I said some stuff.
JW Pringle says, I pay for Peacock and they have Spanish English overlap. Might as well pay you all too. My gosh, guys, thank you for these super chats. I really appreciate it. Joseph Correa says, thank you to all you guys for what you do on a daily basis. Well, I mean, we made it through this show, so here we are. Did you watch the pre-show tonight?
Yes, I did actually. I took a nap before the show because I was very exhausted. And the pre-show started and my fiance was cleaning and I was like, dude, wake me up when the match starts. So I started once the match actually, like a couple minutes before the match started was when I actually came out to watch the pre-show.
Stone Cold says Pierre Escargot is who I was talking about on All That. There you go. Tremaine says, man, I hope Liv Morgan still wants to wrestle once her Fed contract is up. Was love to see her in Shimmer or ROH. Buddy, yeah, I think ROH is more likely. I think she'll get some offers whenever her deal is up if she wants to move on. But she got the win here. This was a match. It was a pre-show match, and she probably should not have lost on Friday, Denise, because now all they're going to do is run back the match with Zelina this Friday. Guaranteed.
Oh, 100%. I was going to bring that up if you didn't. Right away, I had a feeling that just because this match was moved to the pre-show, that I knew that they were essentially going to have this match essentially being run back on SmackDown. And here's the thing that's very frustrating. And we've talked about this countless times. I've talked about this multiple times on my SmackDown post show, but it's very rare, Sean, when you have somebody on the roster that the crowd is just completely ready to see, burst out. We're ready to see what Liv Morgan can bring to the table. And right now, it's not like they have very many women to work with, Building up somebody like Liv Morgan can actually do more better for the roster than anything else. And people have been wanting to see her do something. And even before Money in the Bank, we thought they were. Money in the Bank came. The people wanted to see her win that briefcase. She didn't. And then they never touched back on what she was doing prior to that. And then they're finally starting to do something with her. So today for this match, it was a good match, okay, from what I saw. But I will be completely honest with you. The issues with the broadcast, with the Spanish and the English and the French and all of that really took me out of this match. And that really sucks because this felt like a big deal of a match. Afterwards, when Liv Morgan won, it felt like a big deal to me, which sucks because this match was supposed to be on the main card. And, Liv Morgan comes out with the new look and, she's looking like she was ready to be on the main card. And then you get bumped up to the pre-show. Kind of sucks, but this was still a nice win for her. But it does also suck one more time because a lot of the focus from the match was taken away because everybody was talking about one thing and one thing only, and that was the Peacock.
The audio. People should not be talking more about the audio snafu than the match itself, and that's the situation we're in. That's
not WWE's fault. That's completely on the Peacock. They should be upset. I would be upset if this was my company.
I would too. And I mean, they didn't have that issue that I remember when they were running their own network. Norm says, glad Liv got a win. We'll see where she is in 3 weeks. Stay juicy. Well, I mean, I don't know where anybody's going to be in 3 weeks because there's a draft coming up. But we did have the opening match, which was made on the pre-show. Lashley, AJ, and Omos against New Day. They ended up announcing Big E and Lashley for Raw, kicking off Raw tomorrow. So, I mean, I will say it is funny to see a lot of people that were complaining about what kicked off AEW now going in and watching this match kick off Raw, which the most people are going to be watching Raw is at the beginning of the show. I mean, that just seems to be the case. It was a rare exception a couple weeks ago when Big E won the title and it was the highest quarter hour, but this will probably be the highest quarter hour now. And it's one of those things where it seems like WWE's squeezing the last bit out of something before they make a change in the draft. But I love this match. It was really fast paced. I love seeing New Day together. I don't necessarily see Omos as WrestleMania main eventer, like I've seen some people say on Twitter or anything like that. But if they continue to protect him when he gets beat, I think it will be more important. So I'm going to work on fixing my camera now, which apparently people say is glitching. Well, what do you think of this opening match?
All right. So first of all, I like this opening match. It was a fun match. You know, you saw a lot of really good stuff throughout it. But what I really liked from this is two things. One, it looks like we're moving forward or possibly moving forward with seeing the possibility of AJ Styles being that next big opponent for Big E. And if you're going to have anybody essentially make Big E look like a monster champion, that is definitely AJ Styles. AJ Styles, as we know, is somebody who is going to bump the hell for Big E, and Big E is just gonna Big E is gonna come out looking like this, like an even better champion. So I do hope,
and they're so over. Everybody just loves them.
And they have good chemistry because obviously we saw a nice little snippet of that during this match, and they had really good chemistry with one another. I mean, again, AJ Styles has good chemistry with everybody, but still. So I really like the fact that they're going to go ahead and hopefully move forward with that. It's my best estimation based off of what we saw here today. The other thing that I do want to put over, and I kind of mentioned this on our Raw post show, but I have to mention it again, really post WWE Championship reign, Bobby Lashley I am here for it. For some reason, I am more interested in Bobby Lashley now that he's not champion than he was as champion. I feel, and later on, you know, when he does that whole promo challenging Big E, I really like that promo. I thought he made a lot of sense. And at first I was kind of worried because I was like, man, they have the heel here making all the sense in the world. And later on, we do get that promo from Big E accepting the challenge. And I thought that the way that he did it, sort of like mocking Bobby Lashley and his knee pain and all of that, thought that was really great too. So I do like how this is playing into that match that we're going to see on Raw. And I was here saying, you know, I was here talking about the hot shotting and all of that. And while I still think that is true, I feel that this is something, though, that Raw desperately needs. So I am not, like, I'm happy that they're actually doing this match between Big E and Bobby Lashley.
And usually I wouldn't be keen on setting up a rematch by pinning somebody. This, I thought, was a great way to do it. AJ and Bobby Lashley have those competitive, like that competitive spirit. Like they are both almost 2 decades in. Bobby Lashley's 15 years in. AJ's 20 years in. And AJ's like, no, let me finish him off. And then Lashley blind tags him. And in blind tagging AJ Styles, it almost like throws AJ off a little bit. And Lashley accidentally hits the spear. Then he turns around into Big E. And that's why he's mad. That's why he got pinned, and I'm okay with that. It's not optimal for me, but I'm okay with it because Bobby Lashley is like, I'm sick of everybody. I'm sick of the Hurt Business. I'm sick of MVP. I'm sick of AJ and Omos. I don't want anybody there. I don't want Xavier there. I don't want Kofi there. I want me and you, nobody else messing up all this stuff. Nobody that I'm wrestling before, one-on-one, and I dig it. It makes a lot of sense. Do it on Raw. Do these big matches on Raw. They're paying you $1 billion too. By the way, we've got a story on the USA WWE relationship coming on FightfulSelect.com this Friday. We just posted one on the Fox relationship. Make sure you check it out. But
really good stuff. My favorite thing about that, you know, aside from the big deal of the important facts that you put on there, my biggest takeaway from this, Sean, was I now know where Vince goes to eat to dinner. And you know what? That was interesting for me. I like those kind of tidbits.
I was at the place where he was having a high-level meeting while he was doing it and didn't even realize it. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
You could have been there, like, you know, binoculars, all of that. You would have gotten some great scoops.
Yeah, there were people in WWE that hit me up and they're like, how do you know where Vince had that dinner meeting? It's like, well, that's why you read the story.
Well, you know what, Sean, next time, just a heads up, I would like to know what he ate too. Please, that's information.
Oh, you know he ate
I like
steak.
To know,
you
okay?
know he ate
but
steak.
I like to know details. I like information. Did he get a bread roll? Did he not get a bread roll? What was the side? Mashed potatoes, broccoli?
I'll work it. I'll do better.
Thank you.
Oblivious
people want.
Oblivious Carrie says, Denise Spanish is cute. Reminds me of Netflix shows. Also, to our moderator, please put that comment back in that you just deleted because I hadn't read it yet. James Barris says, Denise giving SRS what for in Spanish popped me good. And I can't pronounce this. Orale Denise, eso
Órale.
lo puso en su lugar. You tell him
Órale,
well.
Denise, eso lo
Said
puso en su lugar.
He put me in my place.
Yeah.
There you go. Tremaine says, I would comment about the match, but after the Liv match, I didn't actively watch the rest of the pay-per-view. I just looked at my phone. I get Peacock for free. Well, you got those commercials, my dude. And Anakin says, hope you can add audio snafu to the Peacock story. Oh, I can. Oh, yeah. It doesn't end with the USA story this Friday, guys. I got one the Friday after that about their relationships with streaming services. And it ain't just one. And there are other companies involved. So there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be dropping over the next couple weeks. And if you like to find out how and why things work, you'll really like that story.
You're welcome, Sean, by the way.
Yeah. Dallas fan says Liv should be drafted to Raw. Joel Wood says, I loved reading a good 4-paragraph article, and the headline on all the websites was the one line about it being strained. Yeah, I didn't quite like that. I mean, I mentioned that this story started because somebody said the relationship is strained. So I was like, I'm going to find out if the relationship is strained. And I talked to people at Fox, and I talked to people in WWE, and some of them were willing to give me more information than others. And they're like, well, there's some stuff we're not stoked about, but no, because this meeting happened. Denise, there's going to be a show in your hometown that Vince and Nick Khan saw was set for Raw. And they're like, no, we're not giving Raw that show. We're giving it to Fox because Fox Sports is in LA. So lots of neat little nuggets there.
I saw that you were totally Sean Ross sassy, BTW.
I mean,
those headlines.
It's just like, come on. They can do better than that. I know they want the clicks and all that stuff. And, you know, we post some stuff for clicks too. We did one about Daniel Bryan saying that apples were basically tree semen. But
I clicked on that. I saw tree semen and I was like, I'm clicking on this.
But that was also completely representative of what he said. The main takeaway, I don't think there could be a main takeaway from that Fox article. It was just an article about the relationship and how some of this stuff works. It wasn't LOL, Fox is pissed at WWE. But
there's layers to things.
But maybe one of these upcoming stories will be. You never know. Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com now.
Was that clickbaity? That sounded like a clickbaity approach.
Oh, I don't mind clickbait. Not at all. It's just be honest with it. Be honest with it and be fairly representative. Joseph Correa says, just noticed E's Fugees inspired gear on tonight's show. Love that so much. I mean, they're back together. So there we go. Sean Blanford says, I bet Randy Orton interferes within the first 5 minutes to set up a triple threat to end Raw. I hope not, because I mean, that's part of what built this story, Denise, is that he didn't want Orton around or anything either.
Yep, agreed.
It's Mars says, think the picture Bray posted means anything? Means he was reminiscing, I think.
What was the picture that he posted? I didn't see.
It was a picture of him and the Wyatt family against Daniel Bryan and the Usos.
Oh, okay.
There you go. We had the Usos defeating the Street Profits. I think now we've only seen, I think, 4 matches between these two. One of them was like a really great 20-minute match earlier this year. I think it was the weekend of Double or Nothing, maybe, because I think I was traveling when it was happening. But then there were 2 DQs. But it feels like they've wrestled 700 times. And I don't know why it feels like that, but it does. Do you think that we will get a split and these two teams will go a different way in the draft? Because it would be very, very easy for them to do Usos and Naomi against Street Profits and Bianca at some point. But they could also do that years and years down the line too, and that'd be good.
So with the Street Profits, I could see them doing that. Obviously, with the Usos, I don't think so because they're still doing that whole thing with Roman Reigns and all of that. And I still think that should stay as is. But with the Street Profits, given that we had Montez Ford essentially shining on his own this past Friday against Roman Reigns in a really high-profile match in his career, I could see them, essentially splitting them up. But given the tag teams in WWE and how there really aren't that many true tag teams, I don't want to see any tag teams get split up right now. I just don't think it's like the right time.
No, I meant, do you think that they will end up on different brands? Like, do you think Street Profits and Usos will end up on different brands and they'll freshen it up a
I
little bit?
thought you meant like the teams
No, I mean,
getting
that's
separated.
just as good of a question. So, I
well,
mean, that
that's
works.
fine. Yeah, no, that's not a problem. I don't care about that. Like, I don't mind seeing, Street Profits go on over, to Raw or something. No, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Good match per usual. I mean, that's to be expected. Montez does that tope con giro that is just incredible every single time that I saw it or see it. Raw has like 9 tag teams. SmackDown has like 8 tag teams. There are a lot of tag teams right now. It's just, I want to see them creatively built. I don't just want to see singles match, tag match. I don't want to just see that. I want to see some story behind this stuff. And when I say story, I don't mean Viking Raiders, Street Profits type of story.
So I'll be honest. I know why people like this match, and I know the reasons why I like this match towards the end, and I know what people saw in this match. However, I wasn't necessarily as crazy about this match as some people here might be. I thought that there were a lot of things that could have been done differently to make more sense. For example, so we saw Montez Ford on SmackDown essentially get beat by Roman and the Bloodline. Obviously he comes in with the his taped midsection and all of that. He has all of that going on, right? And that was a major part of this story. So my issue here was you have Angelo Dawkins start off this match, and they start this match up in a lockup. That's my number one pet peeve. Your friend just got the living hell beat out of him the week prior, and you're starting this matchup in a lockup. I didn't like that. I also did not like that it made Angelo look dumb, that his friend is obviously not at 100%. So he shouldn't have been tagging him right into this match so soon. I feel that the proper story in the beginning of this could have been like, let me get this match because I know you're not 100%, and let me do everything that I possibly can at the top of this. It would have made more sense. It didn't make sense for him to tag in his partner that he knows very well is not 100%, to go in there and get his butt beat for like who knows how long he was getting beat. There were a lot of times where I felt Montez Ford completely forgot that he had to sell the ribs when he was stretching to try to get that tag. It was like, okay, come on, like now you're just forgetting. And I kept noticing that throughout the entire match. So I didn't like that either. And then once the crowd started chanting tables, I kind of felt that was the sign of we're kind of bored and you need to spice this match up. It started to get progressively better after this. The other thing that I do want to add is that I think commentary could have done so much more for this match. Montez Ford is known for doing his frog splash. That is his signature move. People know that. So obviously with him not being tip-top shape, we know that that's going to affect him during this match. I really do wish that commentary would have been talking about this throughout the entire match, so that then when Montez Ford went in to do the frog splash, and we saw him essentially, I forgot who he went to do it on, but he put his knees up, right? They should have essentially built up the story, built up the hype, so that when he did go up for the frog splash, it would have actually meant something that, hey, he could literally be legitimately hurt by sacrificing himself to win this match by doing his frog splash. So I do think that there was a lot of stuff that wasn't completely thought out in this match. I think that this was one of those matches that towards the end, it really was because the crowd was the ones that kind of elevated this match. But I thought that there was a lot of things that they should have done differently for the proper story of this match. So for me, I didn't like it.
It's a very good point. I thought the action was good, but I couldn't care about this match from a story perspective because it just hadn't been built. It hadn't been built in a way that made me excited to see the Street Profits, because they had used them to build Roman and all these other people. And I'm glad that Roman had put the pain on Montez. But as you said, what's the point in putting the pain on him if he doesn't sell that pain a couple nights later? Joel Wood says, what's more likely? Wyndham Rotunda appears at Bound for Glory, AEW Rochester, or Bray Wyatt returns to WWE before year's end? I mean, guys, I haven't spoken on this because I haven't got it confirmed, but I'm under the impression he's on a 90-day non-compete. So I don't know how he could appear at either one of those two. So I would have to go with him returning to WWE would be the most likely. But yeah, I'm still working to find out more about that.
Well, I wasn't expecting that answer out of you. I mean, besides the 90-day thing, which is obvious, but returning to WWE, I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that if that would be WWE would be willing to offer lower deals. And
But wouldn't that look bad?
of course it would, but they didn't care. They did that to Matt Cardona and Heath Slater.
Yeah.
They offered them both deals to come back for less money. And Drake Maverick, and he accepted it. Ian says, do you think there's a possibility the WWE title and Universal title switch brands this Friday? Oh, buddy, Fox loved them some Roman Reigns. They really do. I mean, I didn't necessarily lean into that in the piece, but one of the things that reps told me they love so much is that he defends that title on their show, and they like it. They are very aware of it.
Focus of the show for a very long time, and still is. But there was other shows where there was literally no other story other than Roman Reigns and the Bloodline.
Indeed, guys, get your super chats in. It helps support us, and please leave a thumbs up. We're gonna have a lot of cool interviews this week. Make sure you keep it locked here at Fightful.com, but also check out our magazine, FightfulMag.com. We've got an article on CM Punk and John Cena's returns. Thunder Rosa from people who work with her. Cody Deaner of Impact Wrestling is the latest contributor of the Wrestlers Tribune. Sending our condolences, thoughts, and prayers to the Thunderdome as we kick it to the curb. Indie Tales, a story about Brian Lee. If you don't know who Brian Lee is, he's the former Chains of DOA, the former fake Undertaker. I've been trying to track him down for years, and there's actually a story about an indie match with him. And go figure, this week he's booked for his first indie appearance in years. We also take a look at the Fire Pro Wrestling series. You get my last word as well. FightfulMag.com. Make sure you guys check that out. Brought to you by Magic Spoon and Blue Chew. So, after Charlotte Flair beat Alexa Bliss, I tweeted, wow, I'm so happy they didn't do any smoke and mirrors.
I thought they were. They didn't really do much.
Well, they didn't do smoke and mirrors. They were trying to do Alka-Seltzer.
I don't get it.
You didn't see that up on the top of the ramp?
Oh,
boy.
I see what you mean. Oh, okay. Sorry.
So,
I didn't get it for a second. I was like, what are you talking about?
Charlotte wins. I was fine with the match. There were some turnbuckle spots that missed by a mile, like just whiffed. There were some moves that whiffed, but the camera guys did their best. The producers did their best to kind of hide that. But as I've mentioned, Alexa Bliss has gotten more aggressive in the ring. I really dig that. Charlotte's always aggressive in the ring. I loved her Venom-inspired gear. That was really cool. Let's talk about the body of the match before we talk about the post-match, because the post-match is a whole different freaking thing. How did you feel about this? Because Alexa hasn't really been wrestling that much this year.
So for the actual match, I liked it. I think up until this point of the night, it was probably one of my favorite matches of the night. I was digging it, especially because I did like everything that they did on Raw. You know, that whole promo, we talked about it. We already, went in depth about that. But I really
they covered it heavily in the pre-match.
They did. They practically aired the entire thing. So, but
Yeah.
I will say this, like that one thing that they did really got me hyped for this actual match. And I remember you and I were having this discussion where you said, oh, I hope they don't do the smoke and mirrors things. And I was like, Sean, are you crazy? They're totally going to do it. I was expecting all of this, magic and things falling from the ceiling and, black liquid, all of that. I was expecting some more movements from Lily, all of that. I was glad that they didn't lean into that the way that they have in the past. And I think it made the match much more entertaining. I didn't know which direction they were going to go in. I think a lot of the matches on this card, I had a feeling, I felt very like I was 99.9% sure on mainly all of the winners of who I thought was going to win. This was the match where I was a little bit torn, where I thought, hey, they're either going to stick with Charlotte or they're going to go with Alexa. But I thought they were going to go with Alexa so that, because this new character, she hasn't really necessarily been, getting that many wins or, been on top. She hasn't been champion as this character. So I thought that maybe this was the opportunity given how much time that they've invested in her. So I thought that they were going to pull the plug with her there. But then when they did it, I thought, okay, so does this mean we're done with this version of Alexa Bliss? Is this over? Or is this just going to continue to drive her even more mad? I'm a little bit confused as to where we're going here.
This is her first one-on-one loss in a year since, I think Lacey beat her by DQ a year ago. And then I think maybe last July, Nikki Cross beat her. And I mean like last year. So she's been very protected. But after the match, which again, I thought was fine. It was all right. We've got Charlotte ripping the Lily doll and Alexa Bliss throwing a fit over it and crying in the ring over the ripped up Lily doll.
I love this.
We've got Aiden O'Donnell saying Alexa Bliss deserves more than this crap. She puts everything into whatever she's given. Also, anything on WWE being upset with NBC over Peacock. I'll work on that last part, but that's where the finger was pointed. You liked the doll being ripped up, eh? Or her reacting? I didn't. I'm like, come on.
I did. And the reason for that is someone just mentioned right now, Alexa Bliss does what she can with what she's given. And I mean, she sold that where even I started thinking, oh man, that's kind of sad. When Charlotte held up Lily's torn face, I thought that was a pretty funny visual. And then afterwards, her just, ripping things apart, her being so upset, I genuinely felt that she was legitimately upset. And that's the point of the character. Like, I get it. A lot of people do not like the character, but that's what she's doing. And I think that she really made it work here tonight for what it was. Again, I know it's a joke character with the Lily doll and everything, but I thought she did a good job at being like legitimately, pissed about it, being all sad, picking up the pieces of the Lily doll. So I can see how that would essentially connect with like a younger audience, a way younger audience.
Sure.
I liked it. I didn't hate it. Honestly, out of everything that they've had Alexa Bliss do, this was nowhere near the bottom of the things that she has done.
Oh, I think that shit up on the ramp was near the bottom.
But that was bad. That was bad also because of the production. Had they hid, the big ass, thing in her mouth, it wouldn't have been as bad.
Well, Rob Reed says, plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a terrible post-match with Alexa. David Wenger says, well, Alexa, wear the Lily mask. I'm sure she will. She'll do something. But she's up on the ramp, and she's got the doll, and she's supposed to be foaming at the mouth, but you see the tab in there.
That was on production. Lower the damn camera.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not blaming Alexa for any of this shit. If it were anybody but Alexa, it'd be even worse because Alexa does her best at everything that she does. She jumps full on into it. But man, this was so lame. This was so bad.
They ruined them. I don't know if I want to say mystique because you could argue that there is no mystique, but I don't know what else to say. It ruined what they were trying to do. Nobody wants to see how it's made, that was all on production. They failed her there.
Nerd Guru says, I bet my life savings that the next part of this Lily crap is like Raquel getting called up to be the real life Lily, to be her almost, so to speak. I don't think so. I don't think they'll.
Someone mentioned somewhere that what if Scarlett were to become like her Lily doll? I don't know. It got me thinking though.
Dallas fan 82 says, so sick and tired of Charlotte. She's the reason Liv, Toni Storm, Tegan, and Shotzi never get pushed. It's all about Charlotte and WWE's obsession with her breaking her dad's record. Team Bliss. Okay, all due respect. Thank you for the super chat. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
WWE is the reason that Liv, Toni Storm, Tegan, and Shotzi never get pushed. They are the reason. Charlotte doesn't book the shows. Charlotte is just good at what she does. WWE could book all those people on their show, give them pushes, and give them something creative. It is no single superstar's fault. They don't book the show. Also, almost all of those people are on a show that Charlotte isn't on. So thank you for the super chat, but that's just not true.
Well, to add to that, you don't think Charlotte wants other women to work with that are over and can genuinely pull out a good story? I'm pretty sure Charlotte wants an interesting story with an interesting woman that, because as you know, if things are going good, if she has a hot feud with somebody, that's only going to add more money in her pocket. So I'm sorry, but the whole blaming Charlotte thing has just gotten out of hand.
Oh, man. So we had Damian Priest defending against Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. There was some stuff I liked about this match, some stuff I didn't like about this match. Let's talk about what I didn't like first. There was one spot where Jeff Hardy is going to do his pin. I love the pin, too. It's the double leg drop onto the legs of Sheamus. He's really slow to lean over and grab one of the legs, so Sheamus feeds him the other one. That's not supposed to be how that works. You're supposed to make him grab it, or at least give him a reason to do it. And there was a real bad spot that got messed up with Jeff Hardy and Damian Priest. This was not Jeff Hardy's best day either, but the crowd was mega hot for him. They were ready for it, which the thing is, they like Damian Priest a lot too, because he's cool, he's protected, he's good. It's just Jeff Hardy in this Midwest region especially, he's super over. I loved Sheamus making fun of Jeff Hardy on the top rope. I wish he would have done a swanton. That would have been so funny to me if he did a swanton. I liked the pace of this match. It got clunky. And to me, I was more intrigued in this than I would have been Priest and Sheamus. But ultimately, I was watching Priest defend the title against two people that I've already seen him beat. And I knew he was going to win this one too. What are your thoughts on this?
So I just got to say, one of the things that I do want to make note of is, why do they treat Jeff Hardy like he's 50 years older than Sheamus and Damian Priest? The age difference is not even a big gap, but he's presented like he's 50 years older than them.
Those in-ring miles, though, Denise, he's got legitimately like 15 more. Right. He was in WWE in 1994.
Yeah, but they can work around that. And even then, like, God, do you remember that that triple threat ladder match that he was in with Sami Zayn and AJ Styles? Yeah. I mean, come on, that was like incredible. I feel that you can definitely work around that and, have, him do what he still can do in the ring. I just don't like that he's being presented like he's a million years older than these guys when he's not.
I think from an in-ring perspective that's why. Because, I mean, we didn't see Sheamus for 15 years after we first saw Jeff Hardy. We didn't see Damian Priest for 25 years after we saw Jeff Hardy. Now, I know the age. I mean, I wonder at this point, like, are the ages just kayfabed? I mean, they tried to pretend Dominic was 21 last month. So I'm sure
Dominic?
It's like 25.
Oh, okay.
But like, I'm sure they're not going to go around saying, oh, well, this rookie Damian Priest that we just called up is 39 years old. But I mean, he did debut like a decade after Jeff Hardy. He didn't really ramp up his career until well after that. And wasn't even on the national scene until well after that. So I don't have as much of a problem with them doing it. And Jeff Hardy's got some miles on that body. And he's slowed down a lot more than these two. I mean, he was the one that stuck out like a sore thumb in this match to me.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't. It was better having him in the match, but yeah, it wasn't like the greatest thing. But I do want to say the other thing that I do want to add, though, is I legitimately, so going into this match, I was like 100% Damian Priest is winning. But there was a portion when that crowd got so hot for Jeff Hardy. I feel that the crowd really got invested in this when they thought Jeff Hardy was going to win.
Oh, boy,
Once
they did.
They started to feel that there was a chance, they got so hot. I mean, he was over. And I just started thinking, oh, my God, they're going to have Jeff Hardy win. And at the same time, I was like, well, this is great for Jeff Hardy. It would not necessarily be great for what they're doing with Damian Priest right now. So either way, for a split moment, I really thought that there was a chance that they were going to give it to Jeff Hardy here. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, Jeff Hardy is Jeff Hardy. He's going to be over no matter what, but that's pretty much like, I did think that there was a nice flow of, continuous action throughout the entire match, but I don't think it was an up there in one of my favorite matches of the night.
Yeah. They do every match so many times. It's like, get them on different brands. Get Apollo and Nakamura on different brands. Get Sheamus and Damian Priest on different brands. And
do you think that, I mean, depending obviously on the draft and all of that, but do you think that there's a possibility, because they did tease this for a while, that they're going to circle back after they do Big E and Bobby Lashley? Do you think they'll circle back to Bobby Lashley, Damian Priest, because they teased that for a while?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that's a hell of a feud. I mean, Bobby Lashley told me he wanted to face Damian Priest as well. Like, so I could see that happening.
Do something new with Damian Priest, because just having him in matches with Sheamus, it's gonna ruin what they have with Damian Priest.
I would actually like if Lashley moved to SmackDown and feuded with Roman. I think that'd be a cool one too. But we'll see how that goes. Air Force Sister 74 says, love that Denise tweeted that she stood up and did Damien's entrance.
I always do Damien's entrance. He has the best entrance, man. Did I tell you, whenever they bring back, well, not bring back, but whenever they do a WrestleMania Access, because they always have the fan stage where you go and you do the entrance. I've always been too shy to do it. I'm going to do Damian Priest's entrance when I get the chance.
Amazing. James Boris says, when this demon Alexa started, I was actually excited. I thought she was going to be Sister Abigail. They were going to play off of that. Then this character unfolded over the last however long it's been. Ooh, boy. Well, and based on what we know about them not having any firm plans for Orton and The Fiend, it's like, I wonder how far ahead they knew they were just going to transfer this over to her. Yeah. Guys, please leave a thumbs up. Donate a super chat to get your question or statement read on the air. Denise, had you been to an NFL game before last week?
Yeah, I've been to 2.
Okay. I'm going this Thursday. I get to watch the Bengals make Tony Khan cry. I mean, a lot of WWE fans will be.
Aren't the Jaguars like on a big time losing streak?
Yes, they're terrible.
Aren't they like 0-17? Well, I don't even know. Actually.
No. The Bengals won today, though.
No, I'm talking about the Jaguars.
Well, yeah, I know, but I was just saying the Bengals are doing well. The Jaguars.
I'm not talking about the Bengals.
I am, because I get to watch them beat the Jaguars on Thursday.
Well, I hope they do. If they don't, it would just look worse for them.
Oh man. Well, you know what?
Yeah, I've been to 2 football games.
Manscaped is here to intercept those pube hairs like everybody's defense is doing to Trevor Lawrence right now. Oh yeah. Don't neglect your balls like the Packers front office has been neglecting Aaron Rodgers. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off. If you groom below the waist, and if you don't, you should. The Performance Package 4.0 is an essential purchase for you. Good news for our international listeners. These life-changing products are now available in Canada, the UK, across Europe, Australia, South Africa, and Singapore. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0, the 4th-generation trimmer that also features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their skin-safe technology. It's got a 7,000 RPM motor, multifunction on-off switch, travel lock. It's waterproof. It's got a 4,000K LED light, but that's not all. You get the Weed Whacker. It's an ear and nose hair trimmer because, why do you want those around? It's good. It's safe. You're not going to bust yourself wide open. And you know what? Get your nutsack smelling and looking good too. The Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Toner, and the Performance Boxer Briefs to get it good and cozy down there. Plus a travel bag. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FIGHTFUL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code FIGHTFUL at manscaped.com. Hit them up at Manscaped on Twitter. Even if you don't use the product, say, you know what? I had no idea how to take care of my pubes till Fightful hit me up and sent me to Manscaped. That lets them know that you heard about them from us.
I just realized I'm Vanna White of Manscaped.
You are. You are the Vanna White of ball sacks. Enjoy.
Lovely. I'm so proud. It's what I've worked my entire life to be.
Like, I wish that we had like a thing behind you and you could turn it like a letter and it's that week's sponsor.
Oh,
like,
I'll make one. I'll make one.
There you go.
I'll make one. I'll make like a wheel or something.
That's good stuff.
My eye is glitching.
Anakin JMT says that 109-yard touchdown you posted was crazy. LOL Lions. A guy went for the longest field goal in NFL history, didn't make it, and the guy who caught the ball ran it back for the longest touchdown in history. And then later, somebody kicked an even longer field goal than that. It was wild.
Wow. Were they as good a kicker as me? Did you watch my video?
You know I did, because I posted the Orange Cassidy kicking video.
It was terribly embarrassing. There was like a whole line of people, and it was funny because the girl behind me was telling her like boyfriend, like, oh, I'm so scared, I don't want to go up. And I was like, don't worry, like after I go up, you can't look worse than that. So I saved that girl. You know what? I did it for her.
I'd like to think I would do better, but I'm not convinced that I would do better. So
it's a lot harder than it looks. Well,
yeah.
Also, I'm uncoordinated, but still. It was
Super
fun.
Punk says a work buddy mentioned that the Jaguars were looking at moving to Oakland. It's right next to me. If so, I hope they bring AEW events. I don't know. I have no idea about that. But JW Pringle says mental health moment. If you think you need help, please seek it out. Please don't be too proud or too scared to reach out. One of the hardest things you can do sometime is ask for help. You are loved and worthy. We need you here with us. I agree. As always, I will encourage you guys. First off, I want to thank JW Pringle for sending his super chat for that. Go to NAMI Communicate on Twitter. Every year I do the NAMI walk. My work for Wrestle Talk magazine over the last year that I've done, I've donated to NAMI with what I make from there. They are an incredible cause that has an awful lot of fantastic resources, so please check that out. We had Bianca Belair against Becky Lynch, and boy, do I have mixed feelings. First off, Becky looks incredible physically. I like the gear. It was different. She is transformed. She's doing different things in the ring as well, which I like. Her and Bianca, I keep hearing that they're tearing it up on the live events and the dark matches, and WWE has been happy with that. I really like this match, but I'll tell you what I don't like, Denise, watching a pay-per-view and watching a pay-per-view match for 20 minutes and go into a DQ ending, especially on a show called Extreme Rules. Even though I know it's not an Extreme Rules match, don't give a damn. 20 minutes to go to a DQ ending. You couldn't have had a winner. I'm not confident in WWE's ability to creatively tell this story. And I swore, I was like, you know what? Becky was probably okay with that 26-second win because there's probably something really good creative in this. No, I was wrong. I gave WWE too much credit. I gave everybody too much credit. I'm so glad Sasha's back. So glad she's back, Denise. Looked like $1 million. She's a freaking star. But this, I'm like, it's always got to be just some fucking finish. Some just cloudy thunderstorm of a finish. A good wrestler can't just beat a good wrestler and do it once. No, can't be that.
Sean, do that thing again.
Oh, it just pissed me off. It's
that
so
really
annoying.
hit home. I was like,
And see, I think that they think they're protecting people. I think their belief is that they're protecting people. But what it's doing is just showing me that nothing matters. It's just showing me that nothing matters. And that if I wasn't doing this, I could watch a YouTube video, watch a Twitter clip, see what happened later, because nobody just gets over. I mean, and when I say nobody, I don't mean absolutely nobody. So nobody send me a list of all the people that have won clean lately. It's just never this person faces this person. One is better than the other in a clean finish. And then they don't face each other again because they already figured out who was better.
I feel you. It was one of those things where, I tweeted that this was by far the best match of the night. Obviously, this is aside from the point where until we got to the main event, because that one's definitely up there too. But this match was really good. I was completely, and here's the thing is that we all know Bianca is very athletic. We know that. But seeing her do the stuff that she does in the ring and seeing her do it with somebody like Becky Lynch, they had really good chemistry. I really liked the flow of the match. I was into it. So I wanted to see a big payoff. I didn't care if I went into this expecting to see Becky Lynch win. I wanted Becky Lynch to win. And that's not to say I don't want Bianca's champion. The reason I wanted Becky Lynch to win this match was because I didn't want them to essentially make what happened at SummerSlam mean nothing. If Becky Lynch would have won today, I mean, if Bianca Belair would have won today, I think it would have really essentially made even worse her losing the title for absolutely no reason in the manner that she did at SummerSlam. So I was okay with them going into this, having a bomb match, however long it lasted. You said 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, and they would have gone, an extra 5,
Roughly,
10 minutes,
yeah.
whatever. That would have been fantastic. And, even if they would have had Becky Lynch defeat her, okay, I'm okay with that. As long as it was a payoff to a competitive match.
It went 16:30. So,
okay. All right, cool.
even that, I don't like wasting that much time either.
Right. Okay. So exactly. I'm okay with that. So I liked seeing Sasha Banks back because I was genuinely surprised. I was not expecting to see her back today. To be honest, I had no idea when we were going to see Sasha Banks again. I had no idea. So when she came in today, I was like, okay, cool, awesome. Like, yeah. But then at the same time, it's like, damn, that kind of ruined this match though, because also earlier, Becky Lynch had said that there was I forgot what she said exactly, but something about basically all happening in the nothing essentially ruining the match, all is in, something like that. She said something along those lines. But then for it to end in a DQ, that doesn't make sense.
I completely agree. And then Sasha attacked Becky afterwards. I do have to compliment WWE for one thing, and it's not a new thing. Thank God they started letting, especially the women, wear actual human being clothes that they wear instead of just their gear and their merch all the time. Because it sets Charlotte apart. It sets Sasha apart when they come out there wearing some stylish stuff that they actually would wear and not just their t-shirt and their gear. Man, we've got some super chats. Nerd Guru, by the way, guys, get them in. We're heading down the home stretch here. Wild Boy says, I was at the Lions game today and thought that'd be the only screwy finish I'd see. That was a crazy finish. Nerd Guru says, Becky was away from the ring for 18 months, had a child, and is back better than ever. Didn't see any ring rust and saw some new stuff. That has to be applauded. And I think I don't know if it was planned that way because they wanted her back for WrestleMania. But Becky Lynch has had the opportunity to wrestle not in front of television crowds lately, Denise, which I think has had to have been helpful. The fact that she's got to wrestle, I think 10 times. I think she's done 10 matches, tag matches, singles matches. She's got to work against Bianca Belair 10 times before this match. Cyclops says still butthurt since SummerSlam. A Bianca win could fix that. I'm just not creatively satisfied with this.
And I'm okay with Bianca chasing her bout. Man, I'm interested in that. But I am looking forward to if they do decide to. Sean, I'm going to be so pissed if any of these three women get separated, though, in the draft. If they separate them, I'm going to be pissed. I'm looking forward to seeing a triple threat match. You got to give us that now. But at
the same time, you got to get Asuka, Charlotte, and Ripley the hell away from each other because you already did that a ton. Oh, boy. Nerd Guru says this was not the pick-me-up I needed after the train wreck of a Giants game. Anyway, despite the DQ, Becky and Bianca match of the night, the last two matches were fun matches with stupid endings. That's what it was.
With the main event having a stupider ending.
Well, there we go. We're heading towards it. Paul Heyman's backstage. He's calling real journalists on the phone. Not saying that he called me, but I love his chemistry with Kayla Braxton. And Kayla Braxton doesn't have to say anything. This is a case of a veteran making somebody better by just being around them. And Paul Heyman is so good at that. I really, really dig that. And I really dig this match until the ending. There was this good action. Balor was laying his shit in there so hard. He was like, I'm in there with the biggest dude, the biggest, baddest dude there is. I'm going to lay this stuff in. Some great spots through the table. Then we get the smoke and mirrors after the Usos interfere. Now, first off, why would the Usos wait to interfere? It's Extreme Rules. I did love that Balor kicked out of the spear and hit Reigns in the nuts like he had done. That was a good callback. I didn't mind the resurrection spot. I kind of dug that. I don't think I needed the lighting and all that. But if you're going to go with the demon anyway, I can go with the resurrection spot and him going friggin' crazy. I'm okay with that. Let's talk about what led up to that, Denise, because the finish is a whole different thing.
All right. So prior to the finish, I agree. I like the low blow spot as well. I like them going in and fighting into the crowd, but with Roman Reigns putting his mask on, I didn't actually see when he put it on because I looked down to tweet or something and I looked up and I was like, oh, Roman's got his mask on. And I was like, okay, makes sense. You know, you're in the crowd and, you know, he's in remission and all of that. So, you know, better to be safe than sorry. 100% like that. I like that he did that. And I thought that it was completely explosive. I mean, both guys had so much good chemistry together. I love seeing that massive spear from Roman Reigns to Finn Balor to the barricade. That was really, really awesome. I mean, this was a great match. And it kept getting better and better. And going into this, again, I was expecting Roman Reigns to win. That wasn't even my thing. Although I was kind of feeling a little bit hesitant because I didn't think that it should be at the expense of the character of the Demon. Because on SmackDown, when he came out and the lights went down and, you know, he came out, he got a massive reaction to that. And the character or the persona is really, really loved by the fans. And today, should I get into now the resurrection spot or should I wait till we talk about because that's like part of
the
what
resurrection spot. So Intangible One says you either do the rope spot or the resurrection spot, not both. People say Cody's matches are overbooked. This was overbooked. Let's get into this. I want to. Yeah, I mean, I think we got a billion super chats about this.
We should. It was dumb.
It was so stupid. It was so goddamn stupid. Cyclops says to the Lions fans, bow to your Lord Justin Tucker. Well, there was some act of God that ended this match because Balor is on the top rope and he's up there balancing. And then the ropes collapse. He gets speared, and that's it. Stellar Justin Lopez says, Sean, when is Finn's contract up? I do not know. This was so dumb. So stupid. I don't even know how this on the day that a Seth Rollins Broken Skull Sessions come out, Denise, where he said, as soon as I walked back after the Fiend match at Hell in a Cell, which you were at, he said that Tyson Kidd had to physically restrain him from going at Vince McMahon's 75-year-old ass physically. He said that Tyson Kidd had to hold him back. Seth Rollins, the company guy, the most company guy, went to Vince the next day, had to cool off, had to take a jog, Denise, to make sure he didn't beat up his boss and said, Vince, this can't ever happen again. And then we get stuff like this, which this nowhere near as bad as Hell in a Cell 2019. I'm not ready to say the night that wrestling died or anything. But for them to go from the resurrection spot to, well, he's resurrected, but God doesn't like him because he's a demon, so he's gonna fall off the top rope. Shout out to WWE for getting God back since he's been out since Backlash 2006. What the hell was this, Denise?
Sean, so let me tell you something. I said that I wanted Roman to win. Okay, great. When they did that resurrection spot, you had the heartbeat, you have the music. It felt like a scene from a movie. You know when a movie peaks and you're like, oh, this is it. We're going into that big finish of the movie. This is going to be grand. That is exactly what this felt like. This felt so freaking cool. I was in love with this. In love with this. As a person who has been saying nonstop that I want Roman Reigns to have a long win, I was like, after this, they need to have Finn win. You can't build a guy up like that, have him you essentially come back from the dead or whatever the resurrection thing was, whatever. You can't do that, have him hit this peak, and then have him fall down in the dumbest way possible. If they would have, okay, let's just say they would have gone, I don't know, 5 or 10 more minutes of this match, I would have felt that to be a little bit more understandable and having him lose in that way. But instead, he goes to the top rope and out of nowhere, No one, I don't think anyone could have predicted this. The ropes just falling. And then I thought, okay, I knew it wasn't an accident. I knew it was part of the story. Like that was an issue. I knew it was part of the story, but I was like, why? And then him getting pinned after this, it was such a let down. It was like going on a roller coaster, strapping in your seat, and it never taking off. It was so deflating. It was bad. And how do you do that to him? It was horrible. They shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have done it.
Let's get into some of the reactions from our audience. Elvis Austin saying, wondering if Kenny Omega built the ring tonight. Colin says, I'd say the burial of Demon is a joke, but jokes are funny. This is just sad. It is sad. It's very, yeah. JJ says, WWE's AEW Revolution ending botch. Save it on SmackDown with a 69 me, Paul. It's the only way that would. Okay, listen, that would be stupid, but I would laugh if Roman Reigns said that just because it'd be so out of left field. Joseph says that Demon's resurrection was awesome. Finish was mid. Nerd Guru goes a step further and says Prince Devitt is all elite. A lot of comparisons to the barbed wire thing. Christopher Hart saying AEW botches their barbed wire match by accident. WWE botches their Extreme Rules match on purpose. Boy, I think that's a really good point. When AEW messes stuff up like that, it's not intentionally. It isn't. But WWE does this stuff. They book it.
Who thought this was a good idea?
One guy, I bet.
Sean, it's like getting a sundae and no cherry on top.
I bet two guys did. Nerd Guru says, here's $5 for Alex to absolutely rip this BS to shreds. Also, happy birthday to the Sour Lord. Yes, happy birthday to Alex Pawlowski.
Happy birthday.
John Vask says, and people are offended when somebody says WWE treats their fans like they're stupid. Good thing I didn't watch this pay-per-view and waste my time. Thank you both. I mean, this is sports entertainment. It's not pro wrestling. WWE has a lot of great pro wrestlers, but what they book is not that.
Okay, fine. Sports entertainment. I was not entertained.
Exactly. It's bad sports entertainment. It's bad sports entertainment.
Exactly.
Brandon Charles Powell says, commentators quickly started to talk about Brock Lesnar like we're just moving on at this point. I would want to move on from that shit as soon as I could too, Denise.
But it's like, damn, you're supposed to, but they did it. They're supposed to sell it. Come on. That shit was cool. Oh, I was marking so hard. Bro, my tweets aged so fast. Like in 10 seconds, those were outdated tweets.
Isaac Merriweather says, even God acknowledges me, which is what Roman Reigns will say on Friday. And Chanukah says that he's God's other favorite champion. The Hebekin says the finish was whack. Roman does not need that type of match ending. That's why I wanted them to keep the smoke and mirrors away from Charlotte, too. They don't need it. They are above that.
This does hurt Roman, too, because he's been, for the most, he's definitely been protected. He's had great matches. I haven't had a problem with any of those finishes. And I've been very trustworthy of what they have been doing with Roman. But after this, it does take something away from Roman Reigns, too. Not that much, not as much as it does to Finn, but I don't know.
Comments on Finn's weight from Bezos saying, Finn's not even that heavy. How did it break? But then we had a super chat. I'll make sure to find out who said it clearly collapsed under, it was Andrew Olivar. It clearly collapsed under his 180-pound frame. And Rob Reed brings up the point that I talked about. Seth Rollins talking about wanting to choke Vince after Hell in a Cell, and Vince does this. People are just so upset about this. And there's some that are trying to have saving grace and say, hopefully Heyman comes out and says that he broke the rope, but he doubts it. Nico says that it was funnier and less frustrating than Lauren Murphy's game plan and cornermen last night. She was not going to beat Shevchenko, my friend. I'm sorry. No game plan was going to help her there. Sandoval says, the show was didn't like Alexa, didn't like Bobby, and asking for a rematch, didn't like the demon ending. But I do like, I bore SRS like a snack. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But more complaints about this ending are just piling in. Sean Blanford says that sure was something, not quite Hell in a Cell, but not that far off. I do think it was far off. I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as that, but it was stupid. And he thinks that Roman's becoming stale. Do you think Roman's becoming stale, Denise?
No, I just think that the problem is that they don't have hot challengers for him. I mean, John Cena felt hot, Brock Lesnar felt hot, but we're still waiting to get there. Obviously, crown jewel, etc. The Finn Balor story came out of nowhere, and with Finn Balor being screwed with that contract signing because of John Cena took away from that, and then they rushed right into this. I mean, I don't know. I would say no.
Comment on the red lighting too, which I loathed. Dan V saying this is a very bad pay-per-view. It seemed like a lot of the wrestlers here were working in slow motion. My friends and I laughed at the awful red lighting and heartbeat with Finn getting up at the end. I didn't mind the resurrection. I didn't like the music and the lighting.
I loved it. I thought it was super cool.
And Cyclops says, who controlled the red lights, Finn or production? It's the spirit, pal. Tremaine says red lighting must be tied to another one of Vince's crazy childhood stories. You can only imagine. Ken Shearer says you just know that Vince thought that ending was hilarious. I could imagine. He was laughing backstage after Hell in a Cell too.
No, are you serious?
Yep. I think it was more like a we'll get him next time. And then he realized how bad it was after that. Anthony says, what in the actual hell was the ending of that match, from the corny heartbeat to Balor's music just playing for some reason, then the turnbuckle breaking? So there's a lot of people that are confused by that. It's honestly, it seems like we're the only ones that like the resurrection, but
I loved it, man. I was so for it. I don't even care if people make fun of me. I thought that was great.
Nerd Guru wants to make sure that we don't fall off camera as this show abruptly ends, and says that didn't protect Finn. And Sean Blanford says it crushes Finn. Where does he go from here?
That's true. Where does he go from here? I don't even have an answer to that.
I don't either. I wish I did. I wish I had something. Probably a rematch now in WWE. That's what they do, right?
And like, what's the stipulation?
The top rope fell in an Extreme Rules match. You got to do it again. And Dallas fan thinks that Paul Heyman cut the rope for a second, but he thought it was. I knew it was. I mean, whenever you hear the top rope fall like that, you can tell it's rigged.
They could have at least, no, that wouldn't have made sense either. I was going to say you could have had broken the ring somehow, but again, Finn Balor's a small guy. How is he going to break the ring? I don't know. Maybe they could have come up with something.
Lane Dashko compared this to the barbed wire death match. Bad ending that ruined a great match. Had a great laugh and compliments us. Thank you so much. Anakin says that Roman's entrance was timed at 7 minutes, 25 seconds.
Was it really?
Or 7, yeah, which is 27 seconds shorter than Liv and Carmella. Damn. Yeah, it doesn't need to be that long. Rob Reed says, I didn't actually get to see the ending to Extreme Rules. Peacock crashed on me after Finn kicked out with the low blow. It's a really bad platform.
The Peacock needs to get it together.
More comparisons to Cody and Revolution and stuff like that. Ken Shearer saying that was a worse ending than Revolution because at least Revolution was an accident. Somebody thought this was a good idea.
I'm sorry. I think that was worse.
Revolution was way worse.
Yeah, it was.
Fran Chili says, I don't ever want to hear that Cody overbooks his matches again after that ending. When is Devitt to AEW confirmed? There was a lot of overbooking on this show. I mean, and a lot of stuff because they think they're protecting somebody, but they're not. They're just showing you that you don't got to watch the show.
They should have just added some more stipulations. I would have been like thumbs up.
Tony says that he loved the resurrection. The music reminded him of listening to themes while playing No Mercy and then the top rope. Yeah, I did. I kind of dig, I like that aspect of the old games as well. Dan V says Balor's the new Dean Ambrose and he got his exploding TV moment. Congrats to him, I guess. I don't think they're going comedic with him. There was a lot of comedic stuff to Dean Ambrose, like the needle, the syringe, and all that.
This didn't feel comedic to me.
No, it just was bad booking. JJ says stuff like this really gives AEW more ammunition, especially with Bray Windham teasing going to Dynamite this week or Twitter during the show. Well, I mean, if AEW wants him, they'll get him. I mean, Ring of Honor or Impact going to outbid him? I doubt it. Tigo says Finn pops up like the tyrant from Resident Evil games. Should have just had Brock's music hit or a fake Paul Heyman create the distraction. I don't think
I was expecting Brock Lesnar. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah, I just don't think the demon should be getting distracted. Joel says
just accidentally falling off and being a klutz afterwards.
Yeah. Joel says those unhappy with Roman's entrance must have hated Taker. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Undertaker's entrances. Nerd Guru says, did no one think the finish of Brock just F5ing both dude and Roman crawls over for the pin? That's more protective than this.
Yeah.
Or just a clean finish. The
Yeah.
demon's buried because he gets pinned by the best performer in the world?
I think they were protecting him by the ropes falling and him being like, oh my God, the ropes fell. I don't know.
Avery Duncan says, do you think a 16-man bracket elimination to build Roman's next challenger would help build someone? Yes, because you got to win at least, you got to win a bunch of matches to do that. So yes, I think that would definitely help. I mean, somebody with wins gets the opportunity to face him.
I second that.
I like that idea. 813 Car Guy says, the ending has me super sour right now, so I'd only be negative. Here's $5. I enjoy the Fightful content. And Kevin Dunn stopped with the camera cut. Says WWE had to make Finn Balor look strong. Typical WWE. Nobody can be bigger than Roman, so they had to turn off the lights and cut the ropes. It didn't make anybody look
weird.
Good. It is. Avery says the Roman Balor ending was God keeping Finn from winning because God himself has acknowledged a tribal chief. And he hates demons, Avery. Josh,
no comment.
Josh says, disregarding the gimmick ending, they managed to give the demon an L without Roman getting a real rub from it. Incredible stuff.
That is true.
Nobody gets over.
Yeah, what the hell?
What's the point in beating the guy if nobody gets over as a result? Dallas fan says Finn should get drafted to Raw and paired up with Alexa. Nah.
Oh, I don't think so. They're doing two totally different things.
James Boris says, the show isn't quite as bad as Victory Road 09, but the last two finishes were TNA-esque. Did WWE rehire Russo when I wasn't paying attention? It was very TNA-esque. It was very WCW late years-esque. Just overbooked crap.
My jaw just like dropped the hell down. I went from this is awesome moment to just going all the way down. I mean, it was just such a shift in reactions.
It was such a fun match. And even like the resurrection, I was like, all right, I'm not usually into this type of stuff, but why the hell not? Hell, it's our anniversary. Bring her a Pepsi. One of those moments. I don't give a damn. This is harmless, I guess. And then they did that finish. Damn. And
I was also thinking, do you think like this had any, did you think that they got the idea from when SmackDown, when Montez went on the table and the table just went down?
That was my joke. I said, that's gotta be Montez Ford.
Do you think that, am I reaching here? Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, if so, it's stupid because Montez Ford just stood on his feet. If that were Montez Ford on the top rope, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
CM says Pat McAfee was right. The ending was pretty Bush League. The hokey magic stuff still sucks and pretty much always will. I think we got to move on past the magic stuff. This ain't 92 anymore. And Papa Shango didn't get over to a massive degree either. Justin McCluskey says there was nothing extreme about Extreme Rules except for the extreme anger people are feeling after that BS finish. Happy Latin Heritage Month, Denise. Thank you for all you both do.
Thank you.
This should not have been called Extreme Rules.
Did you see my joke?
Go ahead.
Oh, damn. I forgot my joke. I put, instead of Extreme Rules, it's extreme listening skills because of the language thing. Dude, it was really bad. Like, it doesn't matter if you can speak both languages. You're just hearing a bunch of noise.
Yeah, you're completely right. AW Pringle says Balor Reigns ending was so WWE. Started with a little lame with the heartbeat, got very cool with the demon getting up, and then they totally crapped all over what they just built. And Daniel says if you're going to do a screwy finish, at least make it mean something. Like have Naomi be the one that cut it or something. I don't hate that idea at all.
You can't save this. There's no way.
No.
It happened. Now we just have to move on from it. There's no saving it. I don't even want an explanation. I just want to forget it happened.
Here's your explanation. Sheamus' dancing broke the turnbuckle.
There you go. That's it. We got an explanation.
Bezos says one positive, Roman had his mask on in the crowd. Good for him. Good for him. Norm says, why have Extreme Rules in TLC if this is what we got? Well, you might be all right on that one. Since I made my girlfriend watch that poop show, now I have to watch Golden Girls. Well, Denise, Have you been watching Golden Girls lately?
Yeah, for the first time in my life, I'd never seen it. And so
Good
I
stuff.
started watching it, and now I'm addicted. It's all I do in my free time is watch the Golden Girls. Yesterday, I was like literally in my couch all day watching the Golden Girls. And then I just knocked out in front of the television like an old person. And then I woke up and finished watching it.
There's a lot of those sitcoms that just don't age well. The humor doesn't last. Golden Girls is going to be funny forever. That show will always be
Yeah.
good.
I'm on season 2.
Lane Dashko says Denise just said ditto. God to WWE confirmed. I don't
What?
understand. I don't understand that. But Dan V says incredibly stupid that the Usos waited to interfere until so late in the main event. The WrestleMania match with interfering right away worked. It just defies logic. The structure wasn't great. I completely agree. It's Extreme Rules. It's the only Extreme Rules match. Like, maybe have the Street Profits attacking them backstage or something to explain why they didn't initially. And Rob Reed wraps us up by saying the one time Kevin Dunn doesn't cut 20 times, he zooms in on Alexa eating an Alka-Seltzer. And Tony Randazzo says Golden Girls is all elite.
You know what's funny? I was going to tweet, but I didn't tweet this because I didn't think people were going to get it. I was going to say it's a sweet tart, guys. It's a sweet tart.
Well, guys, I am home for about 6 weeks, I believe. I'm going to be at WrestleCade in November. I hope you guys come and see me there. I will be at Full Gear. I don't know about Survivor Series yet, but
Wait, did you already apply for media credentials for Full Gear?
No, hell no.
They haven't sent that out, have they? Because I haven't applied yet.
I mean, there's a form that you go to anyway.
I went on the form. It's not on there.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that off the air. But Denise, we've both been doing like a ton of traveling. Do you have like a break now too?
Yeah, I do. Well, for a few weeks, and then I got a show in Las Vegas in October, like October 16th.
Nice. Well, you guys can see me at WrestleCade. Fightful will have a booth at WrestleCade where we'll be interviewing people on the scene. So I hope you guys stop by and say hi there. Plus, WrestleCade is just dope. It's super awesome in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I tweeted today that staying at 420 High Street in Winston-Salem is like getting a Ribera Steakhouse jacket in the South. Like, that's just what you do. You go there. But I hope to see you guys there. And I hope to see you guys over at FightfulSelect.com. Yesterday, I had news on Riddick Moss's return. The day before, I had that WWE Fox story. And we've got just so much more stuff. Got some Adam Cole news coming up. Got some Braun Strowman news coming up. Got some clarifications on an Impact star who hasn't been around for a while and what's up there. I uploaded my Arthur Ashe gallery. We've got tons of podcasts. Share Delaware, one of our mods, our greatest mod, and Rob Wilkins did a WWE mock draft over on Fightful Select. We got Sour Graps, all kinds of cool stuff. So subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Denise, what do you have going on?
Please go follow youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. I'm almost at 50K. It's like killing me. We're like almost there. So please go there. And then Twitter and Instagram @ Denise Salcedo. I'm almost at 40K. So please go there.
Ooh.
You know, this time last year, I was under 10K.
Were you?
Yeah. Facebook reminded me. I had no idea.
I hit 110K today.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
But I think it was summer of 2018. I remember I hit 10K, and now just 3 years later, hot dog. Demon Diva, who showed me around New York. Show her some love, guys. She was great to me in New York. She drove me around and showed me all the great spots in New York. That was really, really awesome, and I really appreciated her. And our sponsor of the Listen You Boy, Destiny FOMO, for showing me around New York and letting me know how stupid I was for staying in Queens. And Lane Dashko says, when she said her jaw dropped after enjoying it. Okay. Well, guys, thank you all so much. Please leave a thumbs up on this video. Please check out all of Denise's stuff. Please check out all of our stuff. Until next time, we're out.